This is how my 10-language AI agent runs an entire hotel. I know that sounds crazy, but that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to build today. With this, you don't need to hire more staff, you don't need to hire a call center, and an AI agent can take care of your bookings, your reservations, your event inquiries, general questions, pretty much everything that your front desk staff would have to do on a day-to-day basis. And the craziest part is guests don't even realize it's AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built it, from the tools that I used all the way to the prompts that make this sound human. So if you run a hotel, then this isn't just theoretical. This is actually being used by not many, but already a few early adopters in the space. And I'd like to show you exactly how you can be the next one to implement this and save a ton of money in the process. So in order to help you, I'll first show you a live demo. Second, I'm going to break down the costs of the AI, the benefits, and overall, is this a good move to make in 2025? And third, I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to build one so you can get an idea of the effort involved to create an AI agent like this. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Liam. I help businesses all over the world to implement advanced AI phone agents into their business. So if you'd like to explore how we can use voice AI to help you out, just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and now let's dive into the video.
Welcome to the Grand Hotel Berlin. My name is Paul. How may I help you today?
Hi Paul, I was wondering if I could make a booking, please.
Of course, I'd be happy to assist you with your booking. Do you already know which room type you'd like, or would you like me to provide some details?
Hola, español.
Claro. Estaré encantado de ayudarle con su reserva. ¿Ya sabe qué tipo de habitación le gustaría, o le gustaría que le explique las opciones disponibles?
Und sprichst du auch Deutsch, Paul?
Ja, selbstverständlich spreche ich Deutsch. Ich helfe Ihnen gerne mit Ihrer Buchung. Wissen Sie schon, welchen Zimmertyp Sie möchten, oder soll ich Ihnen die Optionen erklären?
Okay, let's just keep going in English, Paul. Yes, I would like to stay in the master suite for 2 nights, starting at the 12th.
Thank you for letting me know. So you'd like to book the master suite for 2 nights starting on the 12th. Could you please confirm that these dates are correct?
Yeah, you got that right, yeah.
Thank you. I'm just checking for availability for the master suite on those dates. One moment, please. Wonderful. Those dates are available. The total price comes to $224. So should I go ahead and make the booking for you?
Yes, please.
Great. May I have your email address, first name and last name to complete the booking? Also, do you have any special requests you'd like me to note down?
Yeah, my email address is liam@parker.de. My first name is Liam, my last name is Parker, and could you have some coconut water ready when I arrive?
Thank you, Liam. So, just to confirm, I have your email as liamiparker.de, your first name is Liam, and your last name is Parker. You'd like to book the master suite from May 12th to May 14th, and you've requested to have some coconut water ready upon your arrival. Is everything correct?
Yes, that sounds good.
Thank you, Liam, for choosing to stay at the Grand Hotel Berlin. We look forward to welcoming you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Grand Hotel Berlin. My name is Paul. How may I help you today?
Hi Paul, I was wondering if you offer events.
Yes, we do offer event packages at the Grand Hotel Berlin, such as weddings, corporate conferences, gala dinners, and more. Could you tell me more about the type of event you're interested in? I can notify our reservation department to assist you further. May I also have your name and email address, please?
Sure, yeah. So I was just wondering if you could handle around 200 people in a wedding.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, we can absolutely accommodate up to 200 guests for a wedding with our wedding reception package. It'll notify our reservation department about your inquiry. Could you please provide me with your name and email address so I can pass along the details?
Sure, my name is Liam, and the last name is Parker, and my email address is liam@parker.de.
Thank you, Liam Parker. I'll notify our reservation department about your inquiry for a wedding with around 200 guests. They'll get back to you with more details and options. Does that sound good?
That sounds good, thank you.
I'm just notifying our events department of your inquiry, Liam. They'll reach out to you shortly with all the details. If there's anything else you need in the meantime, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your inquiry, Liam. Thank you for your inquiry, Liam. One of our staff will get back to you within the next 24 hours.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, so what is the benefit of having an AI receptionist like this instead of a, well, normal receptionist? Well, the most obvious one is the price, and we'll get into some other benefits in just a second. So basically, I just Googled the average salary of a receptionist, which is $31,200 a year or $2,600 per month. Now, the AI is paid per minute, and this price does vary, and this depends on how good the agency is that you're working with. Usually depends on the software provider you're using. It'll sit around 12 cents per minute. Really, I want to give you an idea as well in case somebody approaches you and says, we'll build this thing for you for 30 cents per minute. They are putting some of their own prices on top of this, just so you know. So the average price is around 12 to 15 cents if they know what they're doing for you to have a benchmark. And this is a price per minute. Now, I've calculated an average call volume for a hotel. Let's say you get 50 calls per day with around 5 minutes of talk time for each call, which is average. That would mean that for the AI cost, you're paying only $900 per month or $10,800 per year. Now, in this table over here, we have a price to beat, which is, $2,600 per month. And as you can see, there is a massive difference already here. It's closing in on 3 times cheaper than a human. If you look at this, so without AI, you are paying from month 0 to month 12, every single month, $2,600. Now, with AI, this is what it looks like. So there will be a setup fee. This is at least how my agency handles it. We have a setup fee, and then afterwards we build everything on your accounts, hand it over, and the AI is basically owned by you. And depending on the complexity of the project, prices of pretty much any agency will vary between roughly $2,000 to $3,000 all the way up to $10,000 plus. This is just a conservative average of the projects that we do. So say it's a $5,000 setup fee, and then you pay $900 in basically AI usage costs. And keep in mind also this number will go up or down depending on how long the calls are or how many calls you get. The only thing that's really interesting is what are your savings? And if you look at this, for the first 2 months, you're basically still paying for the setup fee. But after month 2, you are already saving a bunch of money. And at the end of the year, compared to an average receptionist, you're saving up to $18,000, which is massive. And this is just for one receptionist, by the way. If your hotel gets a lot more calls, which some do, obviously some get 500 calls per day in the very, very big ones, then this number will, of course, be a lot larger once again. So this is my favorite part, because not only do you save money, but you get paid for having no hold time, 24/7 service, and no rush or stressed receptionist. Because I know how hectic these things can get. And an AI has all the time in the world. It doesn't care. It can take up to 10 phone calls at once, a number that can be increased, by the way, as well. 24/7 is, of course, pretty obvious. This thing doesn't sleep. And this means for you, obviously, that you have no lost bookings and overall better customer satisfaction. Because if you have to wait for 5 minutes on hold, listening to the same soothing background music, then either you just hang up or you become pretty frustrated when it's your turn just to ask a simple question. So overall, as you can see, this is a very, very good investment moving into 2025. And as you heard by the voice, these are improving by the week, actually. So they're getting better and better, and already they're very human-like and very good. Okay, now let's get into the juicy part. Let's show you exactly how I built one of these. Now, I won't walk you through every single mini prompt or every single workflow connection, because that would be a very, very long video. But I want to give you enough to show you what the workings are behind an agent like this. So it's not just this AI magic anymore, but it's something that you actually have a lot of control over. So the softwares that we will be using are Retail AI and Make.com. Retail AI, and by the way, I just quickly want to say, in the demo, I showed that you can integrate this with, in our case, just Google Sheets and an email, right? I kept it very simple. But naturally, in a real-world scenario, you would connect this to any system that you're using, whether that's Apaleo or Book Assist or something from Oracle. It doesn't matter. You can integrate with almost every single booking provider nowadays. So don't let that put you off. This is basically an example that is just easy to illustrate. Just so you know, you can integrate this with any booking provider that you'd like. So To build one of these, as I said, you need Retail AI and Make.com. Retail AI is basically where the AI lives. And I'm going to walk you through from the beginning. So what this is, basically, first of all, you have this is called a conversational flow agent. On the right, you have the overall prompt, which specifies that this is Paul. It can speak in many languages. It helps with bookings, with events, with restaurant inquiries. Then you give it a step-by-step on how to basically handle any inquiry. Specifics like how to pronounce phone numbers or digits, because a lot of these agents, when people try to build one of these, they get frustrated because suddenly, when you, for example, ask it to repeat back a number, it'll try to say all the digits at once, and it just sounds Chinese. So, little things like this come from experience, things that you put into the prompt. Also, letting it know the current time, for example, which I put down here as in a variable that it knows. If I say, can I stay for 2 nights from tomorrow onwards, it knows what dates the person means. Next, you can give it a knowledge base, which is just, in this case, a document with some basic questions and answers. And then you can add some, speech settings. Up here, you can also choose the voice type. I just chose Anthony because he has a nice soothing voice. And here you can select the multilingual, which will allow it to speak in these languages that you can see over there. Okay, so once you've configured the overall prompt, what you will do is you basically build a workflow. And one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how reliable are these agents? And with Retail AI's conversational workflows, they're very reliable because, as you saw in the demo, they follow literally step by step these nodes that I've laid out for them. Sure, they can improvise a little less well, but nonetheless, this is a very structured approach and it basically prevents the agent from using tools that it's not supposed to use. Because at the end of the day, these agents, they do have a lot of freedom of choice, and these take longer to build, these workflows, but they are a lot more reliable, I find. So we start over here. You can specify if the AI speaks first or the caller speaks first. And then I've just set a welcome sentence that this AI will say. And as you can see here, this is not attached to anything, right? You would think, how does it know where to go? And that's where these global nodes come in. Basically, in here, you can specify, jump here when the caller wants to start with a booking and hasn't already checked for availability yet. Or here, when the caller has a specific question about a restaurant, for example. And this is cool because even though these are workflow type builds, the AI can still jump in between these workflows, and it's still able to have a fluid conversation without getting lost accidentally in the wrong workflow. So let's go down the booking. I won't go through every single one, as I said, but let's just take the booking one as an example. First of all, you can tell the caller that you would be happy to help them with their reservation and use the knowledge base to help them find the right room type. Once that, ask them for the dates of their stay and repeat it back for confirmation. This is always a safety mechanism I like to include to make sure that it's not checking for the wrong dates. Then in the condition here, it says if the caller has stated that you have correctly understood the dates, then you're allowed to move on to the next node, which is a tool. And in this case, I'm going to go into this once. Here you add a URL, and I'll show you where this leads in a moment. And in this little piece of code, you tell the AI, please extract the following bits of information and send them to this URL. And what this means is, for example, here we have the room type is one chunk of information that we send across. And the description is, please send across the information or the room type that the customer has chosen, which will be either junior suite with terrace or master suite with terrace. Second is extract the check-in date and the check-out date. Now, where does this URL lead? It leads to Make.com. And in Make.com, we have built this workflow. And this workflow, this thing over here, this is the webhook. This is the URL that we saw before, and it will receive this data. And next, I've added a router to many different scenarios. And as you can see, this already mirrors what we have in here in terms of the structure slightly. So if the caller wants to check for availability, in this filter over here, the tool call name has to be check offers, which is the name of this tool. So now this URL knows, okay, the agent has used the check offers tool. Let me look through my Google Sheet, filtering by the room type, and then I'm going to set the variables for the check-in and the checkout date, send that into OpenAI in this case, which will then work out if these rooms are available or not. Now, if you're using a normal booking software, it's going to do a lot of this for you. Google Sheets was, funnily enough, a bit more complex than just integrating with the booking software. But you get the idea, right? This thing, it sends over some information, just like you as a human would type into your computer, checking in from the 12th to the 14th, 2 people would like this room type. That's basically all it does. And this is the cool thing, right? We're not inventing anything new here. We're just basically teaching an AI to do what a human can do at scale, basically. And if it's not available, then I've told this OpenAI module here to suggest some other available times, as you can see in here. And that will then get sent back into our agent. And here 2 things happen. Either it's available, which means that it says, great, it's available, this is the total price. Could I please have your name, email, and so on to finalize the booking? And if it's not available, then it'll suggest the alternative times. If those alternative times are good, it'll move back up here. If they're not good, then it can check for a new room type, a new date, and go through the whole loop until it basically arrives at this point. And as you heard, it also collects some special requirements. I personally love coconut water, so I always like to throw that in there for fun. So once that's all confirmed, it uses the second tool, which is Book Offers. And in here, it's the same URL. And here we extract a few more things. We extract the first name, the last name, the checkout date, the check-in date, the specific requests, which was the coconut water, the room type, the email, and all of that gets sent across once again to make.com. This time, though, it goes through this path because the tool is called Book Offer, which then just updates a row in Google Sheets over here and adds all these things into, this could be your CRM, for example, or it would actually make the booking in this case. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is the basic functionality of the agent. And as you can see, of course, if you go down a different pathway, like for the, I think we went into the events, I believe. Yeah, it's this path for the events. Then it would, first of all, try to answer based on the knowledge base, but it will, in this case, the company that I'm building this for just didn't want the AI to make an event booking because it's often a process that needs to be planned. So it would just basically collect the details and send an email to the reservations department using this tool, which is basically the message tool. And this message tool can work for the restaurant, for events, for questions about finance. It doesn't matter, because it also, in these parameters, extracts the department. And I've told it here, please send over either, is this for restaurants, for events, for sales and marketing, or for bookkeeping? And then in here, I can again filter. Is the department for a restaurant? Is it for events? Is it for sales and marketing? And depending on that, when it sends this through, it'll go to the right module. This OpenAI module will write a short email explaining the inquiry summary and the name and who this was from. And we'll then write an email and send this to, in this case, just my email as a test. But that will then get sent to can get sent to different email addresses, for example, your events department, which will then, at the end of the day, be able to have an organized list seeing, okay, these people inquired about XYZ. That seems to fit. Let me reach back out to them and start planning the event for them. So as you can see, it has a bunch of use cases. This module down here, I have it filtered for the call ended event, which is basically something that gets sent over every time the caller hangs up, which means that in here in call history, as you can see, I've used this a couple times, it sends over the call URL as well, which means that you can actually download the audio file and listen to the recording in case there's something that's unclear. Maybe the AI misunderstood, just like a human, this isn't 110% perfect. So it's always good to have some control and be able to listen to when this happened. All right, so I hope you were able to get some value from this video. As you can see, this is a moderately complex build. It might seem really complex for somebody who's new, but there's, of course, a lot more difficult things out there. So in terms of how these things go, this is a A relatively simple thing you can implement in your hotel right now to, well, eliminate, of course, a lot of wait times, improve customer satisfaction, and just take a load off of your staff, especially in those busy seasons where you're just missing phone calls and it's just a pain. So I hope you got something out of this. Maybe you learned something new. And if you'd like to work with me, you can, of course, use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call, and we can plan out how we can use a system like this in your hotel. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next one.